Hi, and welcome to our channel. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Shayna, and we're the Straw Hat Duo.
In today's video, we'll be doing a review and comparison between episodes 3 and 4 of One Piece and the manga chapters that correspond to that, being chapters 6 through 8.
We hope you enjoy this video.
So we're going to start out with episode 3, Morgan versus Luffy. Who's the mysterious pretty girl?
So it starts out with the Marines. They have their weapons drawn out on Zoro. And then Luffy just kind of shows up and he pops right in and takes all the bullets and they just bounce off of him.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what? How did this happen?
Right.
And everybody's still in shock. And Zoro's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to join your crew. And Luffy's like, really? Like, yeah, you're gonna? That's great. And he gets so excited. Morgan and his crew are kind of like still sort of in shock on what happened. But Morgan's like, well, Luffy ate a devil fruit. So that's how he has these unworldly powers. Because Marines go to attack Zoro, but he somehow is untied. And just shows up, swords ready, and like ready to go. And then Luffy and Kobe were talking with Zoro, and Zoro's like, I'm going to be the greatest swordsman in the world, and that's it. So if I have to join your crew, that's what my plans are to do. Yeah. Marines are still trying to attack them because they're like, oh, they got one up on us, whatever. So they try to go, and Luffy Gum whips all of them, and they're like, what the crap? But Morgan's like right behind Luffy with his axe, ready to go. And Zoro takes care of it, and he just drops. But before Morgan drops, you see Helmeppo, and he's holding a gun to Kobe's head. And he's like, make one move, and that's it. Like, he's gone.
Yeah.
And Luffy's like, well, Kobe's ready to die, go for it. Zoro's up against the Marines, and just standing there like, who's next?
Anybody want to come fight?
Right? You see Nami, and she tied up some of the Marines.
Yeah.
And it looks like she was searching for something and comes across Buggy's chart.
Yeah. It's a chart of some sort with Buggy's insignia on it.
Yeah. Luffy was like, I'm going to head to the Grand Line now. And then Kobe goes off on a rant. And he's like, you can't do that. It's so dangerous. Oh, my gosh. Marines show up, and
they're just like, hey, you guys are pirates.
They're like, hey, you guys are pirates. You can't be here anymore. You got to leave. And Luffy's like, all right, we'll go.
Yeah, the townspeople are a little upset about it.
Yeah, the townspeople are like, but these people saved our lives, and how could you make them leave? And the Marines like, they're pirates. They have to go. So Luffy's like, all right, whatever. And they leave, but before they leave, Luffy decides to like mess around with Kobe a little bit, and they get into a little, like, slight altercation.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that Luffy's pulling his punches. He's not, like, really beating Kobe.
No, but it made it look good for Kobe because it made it look like Kobe wasn't aligned with him.
Exactly.
So he could be a part of the Marines like he wanted to. He said it was his dream to.
Yeah.
They say their goodbyes and whatnot, and they're saluting them off. And he's like, we have to go 3 days without eating now because we broke the law by saluting these people off. So they're like, whatever. And then it shows like a slight flashback to Shanks giving Luffy the hat and how meaningful that hat was to Shanks. And that's pretty much the end of episode 3.
And now for episode 4, Spoopys Past. Enter Red Hair Shanks.
So it starts out and you see the buggy pirate, Nami, on a dinghy just kind of floating. Yeah. So they jump on like a little ship and they go to see what's going on because they're like, oh, maybe they got treasure. Let's go see.
Yeah.
They pull up to her, see she's kind of like sort of passed out, and she's like, water, help, I need help. And they're like, sure, whatever, and get on. And she's like, you can take whatever you want. She tricks them. They get on. They try to, they crack the little chest open and something just pops out and it's nothing. But by the time they do that, she's off with their dinghy and she's gone already.
Yep. And then it shows that she's really good at predicting the weather at that point too.
Yeah, and they get like struck or whatnot.
A squall hits them.
Nice little storm hits and she's like, bye.
Right.
And then it shows Zoro and Luffy just kind of sailing around.
Yeah.
And somehow Luffy's hat gets knocked off.
And all of a sudden,
And
they
it's a
get the
very
hat.
long, drawn-out scene for the hat to just kind of go.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. It almost looks like it should be like a slow-mo shot.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of going across, and then flashback hits. And it just shows Luffy as a kid again. And Shanks' crew in the tavern just having a drink and whatnot. And Luffy's like, I'm going to be a part of your crew. And Shanks is like, no, you can't be a part of my crew. You're a kid. He goes, I'm not a kid. I'm a grown-up. I can do what I want.
Right.
And then these, like, mountain bandits come in. Or they don't know her name, but they're like, we want a drink. And she's like, sorry, it just so happens I'm out of liquor.
Just sold the last drop.
Just sold the last drop. But Shanks had a bottle and offered the bottle to him.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice gesture, but I guess he didn't.
Yeah, especially for a pirate.
And he didn't, so he just threw it at him, and it just went everywhere.
Yeah. I think he actually hit it out of his hands on that one.
He hit it out of his hands?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the bottle ends up on the floor either way.
Yeah, and he's on the floor, and he's like, oh, what a mess. Let me try to clean this up. And they eventually leave because there's no threat to them. Then Shanks and his crew just laugh it off. And Luffy's like, what? You guys are idiots. You guys are uncool. Why don't you defend yourself the way you should have? This is ridiculous.
Right.
And then slightly after that, you see Luffy eating something. And they're like, what's going on? Oh, crap. And everybody freaks out. And they pick him up. Shanks starts to shake him up and down. And after, like, maybe, like, a second, he kind of just goes boing. Because he's rubber.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, you're never going to be able to swim again. And then it pans a little bit later to the mountain bandits confronting Luffy, and Luffy's like, you guys suck. You guys owe Shanks and his crew an apology. I can't believe that you would walk in there and be this way. And he's like, you're a little disrespectful brat. You deserve to be punished.
Yeah.
And then, eventually Shanks shows up because Makino, like, ran to Whoop Slap.
Yeah.
And was like, Luffy's in trouble. Luffy's in trouble. Eventually Shanks shows up. Just kind of like his presence is just like,
yeah, he even antagonizes Luffy a little bit.
I thought your punch was as good as a pistol, Luffy. And he's like, Shanks, stop it. Shut up. And, eventually the bandits pull out a gun to Shanks's head, and it was no chance because Lucky Roo pulled one out and just got him right. Just, like no effort in there.
Pretty much erased that guy.
Yeah. And then eventually Shanks goes on to saying, if you pull a pistol out, you're pretty much asking for your life to be on the line.
You're putting your life on the line.
I was like, you know what? I would normally laugh a lot of things off or just get over it because it's not worth it. But because you're messing with my friend, that takes priority. I care about my friends. Then the bandits eventually throw up a smoke screen, and then they disappear with Luffy, and it comes to find...
just the boss. I mean, he leaves the rest of his crew.
Yeah, and they're in the sea. They're just floating there, and he's like, this is it. But I'm pretty sure he had no knowledge that Luffy ate a devil fruit, so he...
to be honest, I don't even know if he knows what devil fruits are.
That's true, because he wasn't in there when Luffy did that, but they're rumored or legend, correct?
At the sea. He's a mountain bandit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And eventually Luffy gets thrown into the sea. And the Sea King ends up just popping up, and they're like, oh. And they eat the mountain bandit.
Yep.
The mountain leader of it.
And the boat.
Yep. And Luffy's just, casually just, drowning over there. And then eventually, like, Shanks just shows up.
Yeah. He must be a really good swimmer to get out to the middle of the ocean or water that fast.
Right. He shows up. He saves Luffy, but loses an arm in the process of it all.
Yep.
And Luffy's like, oh my god, I can't believe you saved me. Whatever. Like, I can't believe it. And he's like, yeah, it's just an arm. It's okay.
No big deal.
Right? And then they see Shanks and his crew off, and Shanks gives Luffy his hat and says, "Here, when you become a strong pirate, just come bring it back."
Mm-hmm.
And Luffy's like, "I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be a stronger pirate than you and your crew. Just you wait." I think that's where the flashback ends, and then Luffy, it goes back to Luffy and Zoro, and he rockets himself onto this bird.
Yeah, he sees a bird.
Yeah, and they're hungry, so they're like, "Let's get the bird and try to eat it." Yeah, it didn't work out for them very well. And then Luffy ends up shooting down, but it's because one of Captain Buggy's crew shot a cannon up at him, and he just kind of falls onto there.
Yeah.
And that's like where it ends.
Yeah.
Nami's just going, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, exactly.
And there's just a man on the ground.
Yeah.
So chapter 6, number 1.
It starts out with Luffy excited that Zoro will join his crew. The Marines are pretty shocked that the bullets bounced right off of Luffy, but Morgan states that Luffy must have eaten one of the devil fruits that he's heard about, and everyone seems to be more shocked by it, saying that those are the secret treasures of the sea. As they're in awe, Luffy struggles to try and untie Zoro, and they go after him with swords because bullets won't work. Luffy finally gets one of Zoro's arms free, and Zoro freaks out as the Marines are about to get them and tells Luffy, "Just give me my swords." Does so, and in a flash, Zoro is free and gets free and blocks all 8 of the Marines that are about to hit them with their swords.
And that's like the same thing in the anime, though. Like the same scene. Yeah.
I think down to the number of Marines and everything.
Yeah.
So everyone's pretty much surprised that Zoro's free, and Zoro tells Luffy that he's going to be the greatest swordsman in the world, and if Luffy stops him, he's going to, from completing his goal, he's going to make him commit harakiri. Luffy smiles and says, "That's fitting. Anything else would make the king of the pirates look bad." Luffy tells Zoro to duck and takes out all the Marines that Zoro blocked with a gum whip, just like in the anime.
Yep.
Zoro then finds out for sure that Luffy is a rubber man. Morgan tells all his men that are scared of Luffy and Zoro to shoot themselves in the head. Morgan tells Luffy that he's Axe Hand Morgan. Luffy responds with, "I'm Straw Hat Luffy. Nice to meet you."
Like, in the middle of it all, he's like, "You know what? Nice to meet you."
So they start to fight, with Luffy pretty much dodging everything rather than throwing punches. Once Luffy starts to throw punches, he lands hits, and Morgan gets pretty angry. And once Luffy gets the upper hand, Helmeppo tries to take Kobe as a hostage. Kobe tells Luffy not to worry about him, that, he's not afraid. And the chapter ends with Luffy punching out Helmeppo and Zoro defeating Captain Morgan as he was trying to hit Luffy.
Yeah, but we all know how Helmeppo deserved it, right?
Oh, yeah. And Zoro took Morgan out in a single hit. A captain. And that ends chapter 6.
Chapter 7, Friends.
So this chapter starts out with Helmeppo and Morgan laying on the ground defeated. All the Marines cheer for joy because they're all afraid of Morgan. Zoro then collapses from hunger.
Yeah, I mean, he was strung up for, almost a month?
Yeah, he was up for, at least a week or two.
Yeah.
So it then jumps to them in the restaurant that the girl was in, and they're all eating. Zoro asks Luffy, "Well, what's next?" And Luffy's like, "Yeah, we're going to the Grand Line." Kobe's shocked and tells them that they're never going to survive there. They need more people. Zoro just laughs and agrees. He's like, "Well, yeah, I guess so. You're the captain."
But Kobe's like, what the heck?
Yeah. Kobe's goes on a little monologue on how Zoro and Luffy are his friends, and he's very thankful to have them. And the Marines interrupt and say they're grateful that Luffy and Zoro saved them, but they are still pirates and they have to leave. Townspeople are not happy, but Luffy and Kobe take not Luffy, but
Luffy and Zoro.
Yeah.
They're like, "You know what? That's fine. We'll leave."
And then the Marines ask Kobe, "Hey, are you one of the pirates?" And Kobe's like, "No." Luffy then taunts Kobe a little bit into hitting him, and Luffy starts to quote-unquote fight Kobe till the Marines stop them.
Right.
So Kobe can, stay with them.
Right.
Luffy and Zoro take their leave, and Kobe gathers up the courage to say, "Can I join the Navy?" They, are very skeptical at first, and then after a little convincing, they accept him in as a Marine.
Yep.
As Luffy and Zoro set sail, Kobe comes out to see him off, and then out of nowhere, the Navy shows up behind him, and they all start to salute him, showing their respect for, defeating their captain.
I mean, it's sort of weird, but, like, I admire the respect. But it's, like, weird because, like you said, they just beat their captain.
Yeah. And then the leader of the guys that were there say, "Well, since we're in violation for saluting pirates, we won't get dinner for a week." The chapter ends with Luffy saying that they're on their way to the Grand Line, and the narrator saying that neither one of them have realized they have made one serious mistake.
Chapter 8, Nami.
So this chapter starts out with both of them at sea hungry, which is the foreshadowing that I believe the narrator was trying to get at, that both of them didn't notice. But Zoro finds out that neither one of them can navigate the sea, which, is a problem.
That's great.
Zoro says they need to find a navigator, and Luffy's like, "Yeah, we need a cook and a musician," and then Zoro cuts him off, saying, "Those can wait. We need a navigator first." They see a bird, and Luffy's like, "Oh, we can eat that," and tries to Gum Gum rocket up to it, and it turns out to be a giant bird, who grabs Luffy by the head and flies off. Zoro freaks out and tries to follow, and as Zoro is following him, he encounters some people who are in a shipwreck, the survivors. Mm-hmm. He tells them, just jump on as he's going by, and Luffy finds out, or not Luffy, Luffy's, still stuck in the bird's mouth. Zoro finds out that they're buggy pirates, and they're going to try and take the ship away from him. He beats them up with ease, and then makes them row for him.
Yeah, because they figure out who he is. And they're like, anything else you need us to do? Are you good? Anything else?
So, during the confrontation, Zoro loses sight of Luffy and decides to make the pirates bring him to the closest land. He's like, if there's a land close by, Luffy will probably figure out a way to get there. Mm-hmm. Maybe. You find out that the woman responsible for them being shipwrecked is Nami. And she tricked them and stole their ship as hers was about to be hit with bad weather. That squall that, we alluded to in the episode's review. Mm-hmm. So then you jump over to where the pirates are headed with Zoro, and Nami is running from some pirates, saying that she's glad she finally got a map of the Grand Line. Buggy's crew spots the bird that grabbed Luffy and tells Buggy. Buggy tells them, just shoot it down with a cannonball. I don't feel like dealing with it. Luffy falls out of the sky and lands between Nami and the pirates, chasing her. He's a little confused. He's like, who would shoot a cannonball at me? Why would somebody do that?
Yeah, like, why? What? Why? But, I mean, it was a great fall, right?
So, Nami uses the situation to her advantage and tricks the pirates again, saying, oh, well, thanks for coming to save me, Captain, or boss, and then runs off. And the pirates surround Luffy, going, okay, well, we'll beat him up. They knock Luffy's hat off, and that makes him mad. So he just beats them all up real easy. And then you find out that Nami is her name, and she likes to rob pirates. And she's like, hey, you want to join me? You know, we can make a really good team. Mm-hmm. And that's how this chapter ends. It's a pretty quick chapter on this one.
Yep.
I'm going to go over the differences between the anime and the manga, starting with the fact that Chapter 1 is mostly covered in Episode 4 as a flashback.
Yeah, and then in the anime, Luffy is eating the devil fruit after the confrontation, whereas in the manga, he was eating it during.
Yeah, and another difference was Yasab states that being a good swimmer doesn't make you a good pirate in the anime. So the anime kind of implies that Luffy could swim really good, and whereas the manga is like, well, no, he was trying to learn how to swim before Shanks left.
And in the manga, Zoro tells him he will make Luffy commit
harakiri.
Yep. Thank you. If he abandons him, or if he abandoned his goal, the goal to be the greatest swordsman in the world. Yeah. And in the anime, he just says he'll make him apologize.
Yeah.
I think that's because the manga, is more, I don't want to say gory, but more
it's
like
a lot more
unforgiving.
Blunt. It's more or less for teens, whereas the anime, they seemed like they were trying to make it for kids.
I think they're trying to do a broad spectrum of people. Yeah. But like I said, I think it's a little more unforgiving.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah. And this is another, bit of a difference. In the manga, the Marines that were told to shoot themselves in the head by, Captain Morgan, they're about to do so. They have the guns held up and everything in the manga. Whereas in the anime, they were all just kind of shocked. They never showed them, holding the guns up or anything.
Yeah, they still said it, but there was no visual of it, whereas there was a visual in the manga.
Now, none of them actually did pull the trigger or anything, so that isn't that's not different, but it's just the visual difference, and that's kind of along the lines of it seemed like they were trying to make it a little bit more family friendly.
Yeah, and that's about all the differences that we've seen.
Yeah, in these 3 chapters and 2 episodes, there weren't a whole lot of differences.
No, especially since chapter 1 covered most of what episode 4 was.
So, in all reality, it was pretty much just 1 episode to 3 chapters.
Yep. All right, we hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you noticed anything we missed in the chapter reviews or the episodes, please let us know below in the comments.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed today's video and its format, a like and subscribe would be a great ton of help. And thanks for watching.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.